Hey, welcome back to the Big Red Zone. We are very excited for today's show. We're going to talk about the football, and then we're going to get into NBA talks. It's a big week in the NBA. Trades start today. We've already had one big trade, CP3, on his way to the Suns. We'll talk about that. A bunch of names are up on the trade block, and then the NBA draft starts Wednesday. Then we got free agencies coming up after that. We'll also do shout out to producer John. We're bringing back the all-time series. We're going to touch into the WWE. We'll pick our all-time Survivor team. All that and more in this week's episode of the Big Red Zone. Welcome to the podcast. It is the Big Red Zone. I'm your host, Big Red. As always, I am joined by Danny Football and producer John with a camera. We finally figured out how to get him on camera on these Zoom things.
Yeah, this was Steve's idea.
Yeah.
Steve figured it out.
Thank you. I am the tech guy of the three of us, so we're glad to have him on camera. Wasn't prepared for this performance, but he is all excited because at the end of the show, we're going to touch on his favorite subject, the WWE. We get to pick our favorite teams. I'm going to pick WWE.
Yeah, I'm saying, but for like what event?
The all-time series.
Nah, but what's
the Survivor Series?
Got it. Yep.
Okay.
I'm just testing you.
My WWE lingo.
Yeah.
But how's everyone doing this week? It was a big week. A lot of sports activity. I got to go on, shout out Small State Big Takes podcast. I don't know if you've been watching on our Twitter or Instagram. Shout out to our Twitter, Instagram, at Big Red Zone. Go follow us. Also, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit like on this video, as well as all our other videos. Leave us a comment on Apple Podcasts, a review, and tell a friend. But I'm telling a friend about our friends over in Rhode Island, the Small State Big Takes podcast. I had the pleasure of going on and talking with the fellas. A lot of Red Sox talk, and we drafted our all-time TV shows list. And your boy Big Red came through for the Big Red Zone. We won. I want to thank all the fans out there that put together that campaign. I know everyone voted for Big Red. So
look at the percentage now. Do you have the percentage up?
I can pull. If you're pulling it up, it's probably.
He was at 46 at one point. I can't remember if that's how it ended.
I was down in the beginning. But the Big Red Zone fans came through. They came and voted and got me over the hump.
Big Red went into enemy territory and dragged that W back for us.
Hey, we're
enemy territory.
We're not in a war here.
He dragged them back.
No, friends of the pod now. Friends of the pod.
It's like the Monday Night Wars, where WWE, they're WCW,
right?
To keep it
topical.
Big Red, you won 39.1%. There were 46 votes.
I don't know what that math is, but that's got to be something good. 39%. That's pretty good. I was at 40, so a couple votes went the other way, but it feels good to win. As I said earlier on Twitter, I now know what Tom Brady feels like when he won his first Super Bowl, and it feels good. So if you haven't done so already, check out my episode and check out some other. They have a lot of great episodes out there. Small State Big Takes podcast. So give it a check out.
Give it a check out.
Give it a check out. Is that weird?
Tell a friend about him.
Tell a friend about that. I'm telling a friend right now. See, I'm doing what I say to do. What is that saying?
Leading by example.
Leading by example. All right. We're going to get into our first subject of the night, weekend recap. It's the weekend recap. All right. So for weekend recap, we picked 3 games that we liked from the week, usually the Patriots game. Of course, we're going to talk about. But this week, for the first game, I'm doing my pick of the week last week. Dolphins versus Chargers. I got it right again. It feels good to win. The Dolphins looked very good. I said it, all aboard the Tua train, fellas.
Are you on now?
I'm on the train. I was holding on. You know those old movies where they have the train and you like hold off to the side, like you're running along the side.
Right.
And you jumped on. I was holding on, And there's some of the guys. I think you're running behind the train trying to catch up and jump on. But I feel pretty good. I feel good about Tua. I wasn't happy when they benched Ryan Fitzpatrick, but obviously Tua's ready. He's playing really well, and that's a big win. And with a win next week, they could be tied for first in the division. So it's because Bills aren't playing. So it's amazing. It's great football they're playing, and I'm excited to see how the end of the season shakes out.
I thought it was a really good game between two young quarterbacks. You had Herbert on one side, Tua on the other. And it just comes down to one team appears to be able to close and one can't.
Yeah.
The Chargers just continue to kind of give up late leads. They can't close down the stretch. And this Dolphins team's looking mature, man. I know Tua's a young guy, but the rest of this team is a lot of solid vets, and they're ready to make a push here.
And they're only going to get better. Like that, their running back, they have an injured running back, so their running back is kind of by committee. But that Salvin Ahmed, whatever, I've never heard of him. He came out of nowhere and had a big day with 86 yards on the ground. And I think he had a touchdown in there too. 21 carries, 85 yards. Tua looked awesome. 2 touchdown passes. Defense looked great, like all around. And like you said, the Chargers just can't seem a way to close. Justin Herbert, he's a stud. He's going to be a stud for a long time in this league. But coming down the stretch, I mean, they get to play the Jets next week, which is a big game for them. They should win that game. But we'll have to see how they do. I think if I'm a Chargers fan, I got to be patient, and I'm excited to see what the future holds for them.
I definitely have a bright future. I think this is a good team. A couple of different things go their way, and they have a winning record, and they're almost in the same position the Dolphins are. But between their running backs, their wide receivers are kind of underperforming. Keenan Allen only had 39 yards. I mean,
he's been good, though, the whole year.
It's hard to win a game when you're putting up those kind of stats.
Sounds like your fantasy team, Zach.
Yeah. Every single wide receiver just doesn't want to play this year.
Yeah, I mean, Keenan Allen's been really good this year, but obviously this week, it wasn't as great. But that Miami defense is really, it's underrated. Now, the question is, do you think they want to win? I know the players do, but do you think management wants them to win next week against the Jets? Help them get a good draft pick?
I'd assume not. You've already come this far. You might as well just keep going.
Finish the tank.
See what you can get in the next draft. You already have the quarterback figured out, so.
Yeah, that's true. And, I mean, they got a nice young running back. They got a decent tight end. They got a decent wide receiver core. Probably look to add another wide receiver in the draft. I don't know. I haven't really done much looking for the draft of the NFL next year. Been busy with the.
I think it should be a defense heavy draft for them because they need to really plug some holes, especially with Bosa.
Yeah, definitely. So, I'm happy, but they got a nice foundation. One of the hardest positions that we're learning that we have to fill, especially in New England, is the quarterback, and they got their quarterback of the future. And I think they're in a good spot. Another team that has their quarterback all locked up, and it's a guy that Danny Football has been preaching his praises since the beginning of the season, called his MVP run.
He hadn't had one snap of the 2020 season, and I said, watch this guy, Kyler Murray, no matter how ugly it looked, no matter how bad it looked, Hail Mary to D-Hop. MVP race is back on. MVP race is back on. He can do it.
He definitely can do it. And he was, like you said, it wasn't always pretty, but man, my God. 2 touchdowns rushing with 61 yards and a touchdown passing with 245 yards. He did have a pick, but I thought he looked really good. Diop was a stud. He had that big touchdown. That was one of the best touchdown catches I've ever seen. Definitely the best one this year and best catch I've seen this year. One of the best touchdown catches I've seen in a long time. Just manhandled the defense. But I don't mean when I say defense, not one player. He manhandled the entire defense. There was 5 guys down there, and he just.
That was Megatron-esque, man.
That was right out of Megatron's playbook.
It was.
And that was such a good touchdown. He's going to be good. That's a great tandem. Kenyon Drake came back. You know, he comes back and puts up 100 yards. Easy. This team is good. This Cardinals team is a really good team. And with the loss with the Seattle Seahawks this past week and Russ having 2 back-to-back bad weeks, I have to say, Danny Football, I think that he's closing that gap between Russ and Kyler Murray. I think he's creeping up there and closing the gap in that.
It's not as big as it was a couple weeks ago.
My guy is still in play. Aaron Rodgers. We're not going to talk about that game, but he looked really good. He looked pretty good this week too, and he's been consistently good this season. I think he's still in play. He's playing out of his mind, and I knew he was this year. But I think it's coming down to those 3 guys as a potential MVP candidate for this season. Patrick Mahomes is always in that conversation, but
right.
I think Kyler Murray has just as good a chance as anyone to win that MVP.
That's why he ain't playing until there's zeros on the clock, man. He, could have gotten sacked, fought out of it, kept running, threw up a good ball, and his guy went and got it. And
throw it up and hope for the
that's a leader, dude. The dude's fighting, he's scrambling, he's keeping the play alive, and he did it.
I think it's. I mean, I don't have to ask this question, but I am. Is DeAndre Hopkins the best wide receiver in the league?
Yes.
Yes, without a doubt. I was gonna have a heart attack that you even had. There's no question in my mind. There's you can go through any of them. I think he's the best. Hands down.
He's the most consistent, dominant, physical receiver in the league right now.
Yeah, and also when you think about it, I remember Le'Veon Bell had this. I mean, Le'Veon Bell's kind of had a quick decline after he sat out that year, but Le'Veon Bell once said he's the best back in the league, and when they said, why? They have Zeke, they have, Kamara, and he said, but I'm always consistently in that conversation for the best back. So, every year it's me and Zeke. Every year it's me and Kamara. Every year it's me and, someone. I think that makes me the best back because I'm always me and someone. So I think when you look at wide receivers, you're always talking about D-Hop and Julio, Michael Thomas and D-Hop. You know what I mean? You're always talking about you may be always talking about Michael Thomas last year, but DeAndre Hopkins is always in that conversation. So I think he's the best wide receiver in the game and consistently the best wide receiver. And like I said, that's a scary tandem with Kyler Murray.
I think what makes it more impressive with Hopkins is that he's done it with multiple quarterbacks and now on multiple teams.
Right.
Whether it was Watson or if Watson was hurt, it was anyone else. And now with Murray, it doesn't matter who's throwing him the ball. He's getting the ball.
Remember, how long has Watson been in the league? A couple years?
Couple years now.
DeAndre Hopkins has been he was playing with other quarterbacks as well.
Yeah,
so
that's what I'm saying. I mean, no matter who's throwing him the ball, the dude is just dominant.
Yeah. So I love DeAndre Hopkins. He's one of my favorite players in the league. From the Bills' perspective, this just cracked the division wide open. You know what I mean?
This was a bad loss for them, man. You're up with a couple seconds left and you still blow it.
And this would have put the space in between. They win this game, they're 8-2. Dolphins, they're going into a bye week 8-2. Dolphins can at best go within a game. Now the Dolphins can tie you. Now the Patriots, who are playing Houston Texans, which that's a winnable game for them. Now they're going to become within a game of the division. So the division race is wide open. And what I'm kind of excited about, and I mean, we're going to transition to the Patriots in a second. I'm getting excited for those last 3 weeks in the season. You got Dolphins, Bills, Jets the last 3 weeks. That's the division right there.
Season's not over, man. It's not over.
That's the division, right? They can easily win the division, and it's crazy to think. You know what I mean? It's crazy to think the Patriots still have a chance to win the division.
Because everyone was shoveling dirt on them a couple weeks ago, and here they are.
Last week they were shoveling dirt when they lost. 2 weeks. Sorry, you're right. 2 weeks when they lost to the Bills. They were done. Even after the win against the Jets, how we clawed for a win against the Jets.
And clawed our way back into that one.
It was they were thinking we were done. But I do think, and I mean, people are arguing that we should tank. I'm not ready to tank. I think we have a shot. I think that the Chiefs are not as good as they think we think they are. We just proved the Ravens are not as good as we thought they were. Like we beat a good Ravens team. You were in it against Seattle. You were in it against the Bills. Like any of these teams, like I think they have a shot to go make a little bit of a run in this playoffs. Like maybe be like the like Tennessee last year, where we thought they were going to be an early round exit. I think they can make a long run. I really do. And if they, we can get into the game.
I was going to say, do you want to just take that and sprint into the Pats-Ravens game?
Yeah. I've never been more fired up about a regular season win before in my life. That was, that was such a great game. That was a huge win for them. It keeps their season alive. And I think a lot of what they did was they won the turnover battle. They didn't turn the ball over. And that's huge. Cam Newton took care of the football. A lot of it had to do with Damian Harris. They ran the heck out of him.
121 yards for the young man.
So I think that's going to be the formula for a lot of if they want to make a run. They're going to be very conservative. They're going to go back to what was working. Short little dink routes, like little passes out to the running back, quick slants to Jacoby Myers. Getting Rexy in, rushing the ball, getting like good yards on first down on the rush. And they look really good. And the biggest thing is, like I said, they didn't make a lot of mental errors, which was something I was very irate about a couple weeks ago when they were when they lost a couple in a row, is they were getting too many stupid penalties, like starting off, they get a 5-yard penalty, 10-yard penalty on first down. Now you're starting 1st and 20, 1st and 15. They eliminated that, and they took care of the football. Like, you're going to win a lot of games. They'll win games if they can just take care of the football.
Well, that's what's been killing them all season is the Buffalo game was a fumble. The Seahawks game was a couple picks. Everything, it was just mental errors and penalties and stuff like that. This game, it was just nice and clean. I know it was monsooning, but only the Ravens were having problem with snaps. Right. All of our snaps were nice and clean. The Ravens were constantly losing snaps, fumbling the ball, and everything. And just looking at the rushing, Lamar Jackson, only 55 yards. We forced them to pass, and they lost the game.
Right.
So you tell me, we dominated we outrushed the Ravens, who are a rushing team. We beat them at their own game.
And I think that's got to be the identity of the New England Patriots going forward. Look, Cam is good, but he's not going to be slinging the ball like we did with Tom. Like, we're not going to pass the ball 20 to 30 times. It's going to be that. It's just going to be around 20. And that's what it was, 17 attempts. And I think that's what it's going to be for them, like a majority of the game. A majority of the games going forward. I think they're going to focus on the run. They're going to pound it through Damian Harris. I think Damian Harris has all but ended Sony Michel's season. And possibly tenure with the Patriots.
Yeah, I have no interest in seeing Sony Michel after last night.
Damian Harris looked great in all the games that he's played, and I'm excited. Rex Burkhead, too. You got to give Rexy a little bit of credit. He's a good complimentary back. You know what I mean? Like, he comes in and does his job. He's not going to do anything crazy, but all in all, and also we found out QB of the future, too, in this game.
Jacoby Myers.
Jacoby Myers is the new future QB of the New England Patriots.
Played a little bit in high school. Why not?
He threw a dime. That was a dime to Rexy. You don't think that was a dime?
I've seen Edelman throw some good balls, man.
Yeah, he has.
Edelman's tossed some good balls. I'm not ready to take that away from Edelman just yet.
Yeah, well, I trust Jules too, and that's the other thing. Like, hopefully, like, Jules is, rests up and gets healthy, and maybe he'll help us down the stretch. A guy, I don't know what happened. I thought he was starting yesterday, but I could be wrong. Nikhil Harry.
I think I
made an early exit.
Did he leave? I know he got no targets.
Yeah, there was nothing. So they need to figure out that. They need to figure out what's going on.
I think he's going to go the way of Aaron Dobbins and Kendrell Tompkins. I think he's just a bust.
He's a bust. Awesome. Well, we've been so positive with this Patriots win. Now we got to end it on a bust call.
Well, they're the ones who took him instead of DK Metcalf. We could have had DK.
Hey, rumor has it you're trying to trade DK Metcalf.
If I lose tonight, DK's on the market.
Oh, man. Hear that? I mean, this will come out way after. But
Did you hear that? Whoever has DK Metcalf?
well, you have DK Metcalf. You're trying to trade him.
Yeah, he's going to be gone by then.
Awesome. So that's our weekend recap for this week. Big game, big wins by the Patriots. That was a huge win. We're gonna get into our next segment, which is I'm excited, and I'll tell you why in a second. We're going into picks of the week. Picks of the week. Now, I'm excited for this week's picks of the week because I do not know what Danny Football is going to pick. He said, I asked him, who are you picking? You have no one on the list. And he said, it's a mystery. It's a surprise. So I'm going to do mine, Danny Football, before you start.
Please lead the way.
I think we need you hyped up this pick, and I'm hyping it up right now. So I hope it's a good one.
So we're both at 4-3 right now.
We're both at 4-3. I think I know what you're going to do. I'm getting a little
both at 4-3.
I'm getting a little nervous. I think I know. I think I can.
I've been storming back. I had the Pats game last week, and they just barely got it. And then I had the Cardinals on a Hail Mary, man.
I think you're gonna
two razor thin wins.
Well, hopefully he picks a game that will finish before the next episode airs. I'm going Seahawks over Cardinals. I think the Russ is going to have a big game back. I think it's a big win for. It's going to be a big game for Seattle. It's a must win. It's not a must win, but it's pretty close to a must win. They gotta end this losing streak. The offense has got to figure it out. DK Metcalf, who we just mentioned, wasn't involved at all in the game. Tyler Lockett, I think they just said he has like a knee sprain or something like that coming into the game. So hopefully he heals up. You got Carson coming back, and I expect hopefully a big game out of them. They need a revenge. They were right there. Like Russ played out of his mind against Arizona last time, and Arizona squeaked out the win. So I'm going Seattle over Arizona.
It's a good pick. Ballsy pick. All right, time to pull back the hood. Here we go.
Should we do a drum roll?
You want to drum roll me in?
Is that worth it? Is it worth it? Or
do it?
Tell me.
I'm gonna go Cardinals over Seahawks.
I knew it, you scumbag.
I'm gonna back Murray. He's gonna continue the MVP race, and he's gonna jump Wilson in this game.
When you said note the record of us,
note the record. Like, now we're guaranteed to have a winner. Guaranteed, or a leader, I should say. We're guaranteed to have a leader.
Well, the good news is we're not going to be under 500, which has been a struggle for us at the beginning of this season. It's going to be. I'm excited. This is going to make.
I think this is a big division game. The Cardinals already won the first one, dude. I think it's Kyler's time to shine.
Seattle.
That means nothing with no fans. I think it's Kyler's
fan.
Kyler's time to shine, man. He's ready to take the crown from Russ. This is it. This is it. He's ascending, and Russ is plummeting right now.
I was thinking about trading Russ tonight.
It's time.
Put him on the market. It's
Kyler's time.
I got offered a trade. Someone offered me Nick Chubb for Russell Wilson. I don't think I'm going to take it.
I was going to ask what we were going to do.
Nick Chubb would be a 14th round pick. I'm thinking about it. I'll make a decision by the end of the pod.
I wouldn't do it, but that's just me.
You would?
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't? The thing is, Russ would be a 9th round pick next year, so I'm kind of leaning on Russ as a keeper. But I also have Justin Herbert, so I'm trying to make a decision. I was trying to trade one of them by the deadline, but all right, moving on. That was a good pick of the week.
Thank you.
We're gonna get into waiver pickup of the week now. I'm going with Willie Sneed, and I battled with this one. I was between two players, but you didn't end up picking the other player I was thinking of. Willie Sneed is only rostered in 0.7% of leagues. He's starting to become Lamar Jackson's favorite target. He had 2 TDs in the game against the Patriots, 64 yards, 5 receptions on 7 targets. He's starting to become the favorite. Hollywood Brown is kind of becoming invisible. So I think it's worth picking him up. I think it's, as a bench guy, maybe he's going to pop off in the next couple of weeks. So I'm going Willie Sneed.
I was surprised he was rostered that low.
Me too.
I thought he would be in more.
I'm in a dynasty league, and we have like 30 people on each team, and he's available in that. I'm putting in a big waiver claim for him in that league.
My waiver pickup is going to be, you can use him at quarterback or wide receiver. I'm going to go with Jacoby.
Jacoby Myers.
He's up really high. It's at 23.2% right now. It's gone up 17% in the last week, so it was even lower. 5 for 59. He had that throwing touchdown. It's looking like he's Cam Newton's guy.
Yeah.
Especially with Edelman out and Harry just not producing. It's looking like Myers is the guy to go to. So if you have a thin bench or you're looking for a guy to plug in on a bye week, look no further.
It's going to be interesting to see because Cam kind of goes in that we've seen so far in this season. He goes through stretches where like Bird was his guy in the first couple games. Like he kept going to Jamari Bird. Now he's not going to him at all. And now he's looking at Jacoby Myers. Jacoby Myers was invisible the first like couple weeks. So it's interesting, like, he goes in cycles of where he feels comfortable with a player and just feeds them. So, but I like that pick. If he's available, I think he's gone in a lot of leagues. But if he's available, go pick him up. So that's it for the NFL this week. This week, as I said in the top of the show, big NBA week. You know, I feel like we just had the NBA Finals. We just had Danny Football over here ranting and raving about the Lakers not deserving 17.
I didn't watch the Finals, so as far as I'm concerned, they didn't win it.
So
didn't happen. If I didn't see it, it didn't happen.
Did you see that kid on Twitter that was trying to argue with me about the tweet, the thing I made? They said Anthony Davis is opting out, and I was like, "How does it?" Lakers fans, are you happy that you traded your whole future for one championship?
You had like 2 people come at you. I saw.
Yeah,
I saw the tweet. I didn't see the replies.
They were like,
"Is this guy serious?"
Yeah, the guy. Are you serious? Are you serious? You're coming at me with 1 follower on your Twitter.
Yeesh.
It's like, and I was like, I'm being honest. Like, if he opts in, then yeah. Like, if he signs a big contract, sure, that was worth it. But people that just assume he's opting in is like, it's ludicrous. Like, it's like craziness. I don't know. Like, I mean, some people would be happy to win a championship. You know what I mean? They went all in for a championship. Fine. Like, I'd accept that. But you traded your entire future for a 1-year rental, and hopefully he signed. Like, you hope. I can't wait. I hope he signed. I really am hoping with everything in my body. I think he is going to end up resigning, but I hope he signs somewhere else so I can just tweet share or retweet it with a comment at that person and be like, who's going to tell? Are you serious?
It's just typical Lakers fans, man.
Yeah.
Just typical Lakers fans.
Their header picture was a picture of the NBA championship. By the end of my second tweet at them, it was changed to something different.
Yeah, so I'm sure they're a lifelong Lakers fan, and they're not just on the train because of AD and LeBron. I'm sure they're lifelong Lakers fans.
Well, anyways, talking into the NBA, breaking news today, which, I mean, we had a whole thing lined up about the draft and trade rumors, and, well, we had a trade today. CP3 on the move. OKC is trading him away to, and I had to write this down because it was a lot, to the Suns. Chris Paul and Abdul Nader, former Boston Celtic.
Former G League Player of the Year.
Former G League Player of the Year. That's a nice pickup by the Suns. Thunder are getting, Kelly Oubre, Ricky Rubio, Ty Jerome, Jalen whoever that is, and a 2022 first-round pick. So I think it's a good move. Thunder are really embracing the rebuild. I think they tried to do the rebuild last year,
and they just happened to win games.
They just kept
winning games.
Chris Paul willed them to victory, and now they're like, all right, now we got to figure out how to tank.
We need to get rid of him.
Yeah, he's willing us to victory. So, I like the move by the Suns too. It surprises me with the Suns because I thought they were going to rebuild. I honestly thought...
You thought they were going to rebuild?
I thought the Suns were trading D-Book. I thought they were getting rid of Booker.
I thought, considering how the bubble looked and how close they got to making the playoffs, dude, they were a Chris Paul away from being a legit team, and now they have him.
That's true, but...
good team.
but I just felt like they needed another. Like Booker is just.
I would have been shocked if they blew this up.
I thought they were going to trade Book for the first overall pick. That's what I really thought they were going to do, and they were going to get Anthony Edwards or someone like that.
I never thought there was that much fire to that smoke.
You really?
No,
I really thought.
No,
I really
didn't think they were going to move off of Booker.
The Timberwolves really wanted Booker, and I felt like they were going to offer a package that.
Don't they have D'Lo?
Yeah, but D'Lo is the point guard. You have D'Lo, Book, and they want. I swear, like that was going to be the move. D'Lo, Book, and Karl Anthony Towns. That was going to be the squad.
I don't know why. I never really thought he was going to leave Phoenix.
I really thought they were going to make a move, and
maybe if they didn't have the season they had this year, he'd be more inclined to leave.
But did they? They had a terrible season during the regular season. They won in the bubble, but
they were still only so many games back.
They were a fringe team, and it's like, I mean, we talk about it too.
Considering how bad they were the last couple of years, I think that's an improvement.
But do you want to have I was going through it. Do you want to have like a 10 to 20 pick in the draft and miss the playoffs, or
Well, that's why you make the CP3 trade. Now they're a good team.
Now they're going to be right. They're going to be a 15 to 20 pick and not win the playoffs.
I think this team can win a series in the playoffs.
All right, and they get the 20 to 25 pick. And
all right, just keep going. Just keep going. I can't change your mind.
I just think that it would have made, unless, I mean, I guess it does help, and I agree. They're going to make a playoff run with CP3, definitely. I'm surprised. I'm not surprised. I guess I'm surprised, but I'm pleasantly intrigued to see how this team does. I think you're right. I think they're going to go pretty far. Like they're going to make a run in the playoffs, and it's just I don't think they have the horses to compete, beat, these other top tier teams. But we'll see.
If they had one more like marquee guy, they could definitely be a favorite. But right. They're more of just like a middling team. But I think they're better with CP3 than they were without him.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not disagreeing with that. I mean, you saw what CP3 did with that OKC team. Like I agree. Like they become better. They instantly are better, and they're instantly a playoff favorite with CP3.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see the Suns making a huge playoff run with CP3 against the Lakers if AD signs.
Maybe the plan is to keep building on this. Maybe this could not be their only move this offseason.
But you're paying CP3 $40 million. And plus Booker is getting a ton of money. DeAndre Ayton's probably getting like 10 to 12 with his rookie contract being a first overall pick. But I mean, where's the cap?
I think they have a plan. I think the Suns are up to something.
Now, I will say with that, they do have they have the 10th pick in the draft. So maybe they trade up and get someone to go with that. Maybe they take someone at 10 and that helps their team. You know what I mean? Like, I think there's opportunity to do stuff. I really thought they were going to trade Book. I really did. I thought
I actually give them credit for wanting to improve their team while they have Booker than saying, let's just get rid of Booker.
And maybe that's my because the Suns have just been a terrible organization. Maybe that's just my expectation was them to just say, all right, we're not winning.
I would have thought the same thing, honestly.
But I'm excited to see what this Suns team can do. The Thunder just keep piling on the picks. They have 2 crap picks this year, the 25th and they're getting the 28th from trading away Schroeder. But who knows? Maybe draft night they'll trade away Steven Adams, get another first-round pick, and keep the tank alive. Just complete the blowout because that's the last player in that franchise that's a stable player.
They're gonna be they have first-round picks for a long time.
Was it? It was
2027, I think.
Yeah, 2026. I think they have 2 this year, 2 to 3 next. I think 2 next year. I think 3, possibly 3 next the year after that. I think 2 the year after that, 3 the year after that. I think 3 or 4, 2 or 3 after that. Like they have chances. Like they have the Houston pick, which is a potential blow up, so they could get a good pick out of that. Their pick will probably be pretty good. They have chances. Speaking of the Houston blow up, let's get into the Westbrook Harden news because like I this is like kind of shocking to me because I thought they played really well, and apparently Houston there's a problem because they're looking to get rid of like both of them. They just gave away their whole future for Westbrook, traded away a lot for Westbrook.
Chris Paul.
Well, in picks, they traded away like 3 picks for them. And now they're ready to cash in on Westbrook. Here's the thing with Westbrook. This is my prediction where I think he's going. I'm interested to hear what you have to say. I'll just say it, and then I want to hear yours. I think he's going to the Clippers.
Is that part of the George trade you've been tweeting about?
Yeah.
That would be wild. That would be really crazy if both the Rockets and Clippers gave up individually on their guys and just swapped them. That would be nuts.
Yeah.
Not nuts in the sense that it couldn't happen. I'm sure it could happen, but that would be crazy to think that just a year ago, the Rockets were jonesing for Westbrook and the Clippers were bringing in Paul George specifically to land Kawhi.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. Like, think about it. Like, we brought in, Horford in a chance to an attempt to land KD. True. And it's like, we never gave up on him, mainly because I don't think anyone tried to trade. Like, we weren't going to get the value in the trade. But I think it is what it is. It's where the landscape of the NBA is. Paul George.
I was just about to say that's kind of where the NBA is right now is things just change on a dime.
Right. And I think Westbrook will complement Kawhi a lot. I think it will be a good tandem. I think they're cut from the same cloth, if you will. I think.
Which team do you think is better, the Rockets with George or the Clippers with Westbrook?
Is Harden traded?
Good question. I've seen both sides. I've seen Harden saying, I've seen people saying he's going to stay, and I've seen people saying it's Brooklyn or nothing.
I think that, to answer your question, I think the Clippers are better. I think they have a more all-around team, and I think that Westbrook just enhances that. With that said, if they trade away Westbrook and Harden, like they're doing a total rebuild. Like
they're tearing it down, and they've lost their GM as well.
And that's what I kind of lean on me, like that makes me think like, all right, this is the time. Like this is their like the new GM coming in is probably like, I want to make this team my own, and they'll maybe get a bunch of picks. Maybe they'll get some players. The Nets don't have a good first round pick this year, so I don't know what they're gonna get for like James Harden that's gonna make them valuable. You know what I mean? Like I don't foresee them getting picks and like play, which I think they're going to have to get. An interesting thing I saw, which was a possibility, was Kyrie to Houston for James Harden.
Oh my God.
Which is pretty interesting to hear. Like, cause it's like, I don't think that would happen, but that was something I heard that I kind of like James Harden and KD better than KD and Kyrie.
We have footage of them playing together. So
I think I like that a lot better. So
that would be nuts if Kyrie
crazy
snaked his way out of Boston to go to Brooklyn and then gets flipped to Houston. That would be nuts.
I don't think that's going to happen, but because it's too early. They haven't had a chance for those two. They want to see KD and Kyrie play together. Like that was their plan last year. I think they're going to stick with it. But man, that would be a crazy trade.
How do you think that makes them the favorites in the East? If it's KD, Kyrie, and Harden?
I think it's gotta, right? I think that's like
on paper, yes, but I do wonder how that team meshes.
On paper, I think that team is one of the best big threes assembled in recent era. But personality-wise,
that would be a nuts team, man.
I mean,
Harden's so ball dominant, Kyrie's so ball dominant, and then you have KD coming off of an injury.
Yeah, I think KD is gonna do pretty well with Kyrie or James Harden. I think he would do well with either of them. I don't foresee it working out if James Harden and Kyrie Irving are on the same team. I don't foresee that working because it's like you said, James Harden has become so ball dominant in Houston. I just don't see that working out. I really don't. So that's why when everyone's saying Brooklyn, I'm kind of surprised because I don't see how that team meshes well. You know what I mean?
I think it's the Nets just wanting. I don't know how the Nets are doing it, but I think they just want as many stars as they possibly can get.
Which I get.
Which, like we're seeing with LA, the Clippers didn't get as far as they could despite having 2 stars. And then you have Houston with 2 stars not getting it done. And
well, the Lakers had 2 stars.
Yeah, but that's the Lakers. I mean, that's a winning culture. The Nets aren't a winning culture.
Yeah.
I think that's just it's a first. They already drove their coach out. It's going to be a new coach.
Yeah, the Celtics had 2 stars. I mean, one got hurt, but like they had, Kyrie. They had. I think it's like I think you can win with 2. I don't think that's it. I think the personalities mash, and you are in the right spot. I think it has it. I think the more stars the better, but. It's like I remember with the Celtics 08 run, all 3 guys came in and were like, all right, we're just putting the team first. If I get 2 points tonight or 30 points tonight, I don't really care. I just want to win. And they just have to have that mentality. And a lot of players don't have that mentality because they're playing for contracts.
Well, that's what I'm saying. These teams are tossing stars together, expecting it to work, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Like LeBron and AD meshed because they wanted to play together. Whereas Houston's just saying, all right, let's go get Westbrook. Or the Clippers are bringing in Paul George so they can get Kawhi.
You don't think Harden wanted to play with Westbrook? And Westbrook the other way?
They may have wanted to, but it clearly didn't work on the court.
Yeah, I think they did definitely wanted to play together. I think that was a good. I think that was a good. I understood that trade. Like I honestly did. I thought that made sense with that. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. I don't think Harden's going to get moved. I really don't. I don't foresee unless a new team comes out of nowhere like the Knicks in New York. Maybe he gets traded there, or maybe, I'm trying to think. Like, I don't think he'd go to the Clippers. I don't think Harden would go to the Clippers. I don't know. Maybe the Bucks. Maybe the Bucks finally pony up and get another star in there. The Raptors maybe try to get after him, which is I haven't heard much about it. But if I had to choose between those 2 guys, I think Westbrook is gone and Harden stays. The last couple of stars, which kind of is in with the Celtics talks, is Miles Turner, which we've been talking about for a while. And Gordon Hayward. Gordon Hayward has until tomorrow to opt out or opt into his contract. I think he's opting in. If he opts in, they can trade him as of Wednesday. If he opts out, they can't. He's an unrestricted free agent. So that it kind of you lose him. So I'm interested to see what happens with that. That's a big chip. You know what I mean? That's a big trading chip. If he opts out, you're kind of screwed. Like you have no other option. You kind of got to go trade your draft picks and try to move up in the draft to get a player as opposed to trying to get Miles Turner with Gordon Hayward. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Do you think James Harden comes to the Celtics?
Oh, my God. That'd be nuts. I'm operating under the assumption that Hayward's going to opt in. I don't think he's going to see the same money on the market as he would if he didn't. Same with DeRozan. That's 100%.
DeRozan just opted in.
Yeah, that's why he did it. It's because he knew he wasn't going to see the same money on the market.
Right.
So my thought process is he's going to opt in. If Danny moves him, he moves him. If not, we'll see what happens. We'll see if he actually feels betrayed or not.
We'll have to see. I mean, I thought last year Al Horford was going to opt in, and he opted out, and he actually got paid pretty well, and I think the 76ers are regretting that contract.
Got overpaid.
Yeah. In staying within the NBA, draft night is Wednesday. So I did a little draft analysis.
Got some homework.
I did some homework. And I mean, I got through most of it. And then I found out the CP3 trade was done. So it does shake some things up. So I'm not going to go through all of it. but the number one pick that's going to Minnesota, I think they're going to trade it. I really thought they were going to trade it. Now, a possible key thing, I think the Rockets are in play here now. I thought the Suns were like a main person. I think the Rockets are in play. We talked about Westbrook as a possible, but I have Harden as I know I forgot, I wrote this down. It's an interesting option. The Rockets trade James Harden to the Minnesota Timberwolves for the first overall pick and whatever. They'd have to add some stuff in. It's something I haven't heard yet, especially I think because the Harden news is kind of new. But, I mean, if you're looking for a rebuild, the number one pick in the draft is a good place to start. And, you have D'Lo at the 1, Harden at the 2, or vice versa. You have Harden be the 1 and D'Lo be the 2 with Cat on the team. I think that's a pretty scary squad in the West. I wouldn't hate it. Hate it.
You've nailed some predictions before. So if they come out draft night and Adam Silver announces that the number one pick's been traded, that'd be nuts.
I just think they want a stud. I think the Minnesota Timberwolves are like I said, they're key for mediocre. They're always in the mediocre group. They make an 8 seed, then they're out of the playoffs for a couple of years. They make an 8 seed, they make a 5th seed, and then they're out of the playoffs for a couple of years. They need a stud. And
they had that one weird year with Jimmy Butler, and that was pretty much it. Yeah,
they need a stud in there. And, I mean, maybe they're going to draft Anthony Edwards, who I think is, the number one pick in the draft. I know LaMelo Ball, I kept going back and forth between those two as the number one. Whoever doesn't go between those two, whoever doesn't go number one, I think is going 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't heard the Rockets option, to be honest with you. But now that Book is out of the picture, because I think there's no chance. I'd be even more shocked if the Suns traded Devin Booker now. I was thinking they may. I'd be shocked if they trade him now. So I think Book is off the table. I think James Harden is a good spot for them. And I mean, you could say the same thing with Russ. Maybe they'll try to get Russ in there. But I think James Harden fits the mold for what that team needs, and that's a bona fide scorer that's going to score 30 points a night. I think 20 to 30. So I think the more I think about it, the more I like that. And I mean, you'd have to work out what you're going to give to him. You're going to need the first overall pick, maybe and a couple picks in the future. But for James Harden, would you take that trade?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I take for the one pick. Yeah, James Harden's on my team.
Well, James Harden, I mean, the one pick and then a few picks in the future.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd 100%, and you'd have to match maybe do some salary work around it. But I think that's
Is your entire draft built around that deal, or
no? Okay. Minnesota, I was having taken a guard anyway. The number 2 pick going to Golden State, I think they're going to trade that too. I think that's a potential trade pick too. I'm just going to go through the ones I think are going to be trade picks, possible trade picks. 2, I think, is James Wiseman all day. James Wiseman is the best big in the draft. Golden State needs a big, I think, and I wouldn't be surprised if they trade. The team that I think is a sneaky pick to be the trade for the 2 is the Spurs. I think the Spurs have a potential. They've been rumored to be in talks with sending LaMarcus Aldridge to Golden State. They get a bona fide, already proven center. And I would think that Golden State would also get their pick too, because it's the number 2 pick. So the Spurs are picking 11 in the draft. Mm-hmm. So maybe you send LaMarcus Aldridge in the 11th pick in the draft to get the 2. Maybe another pick for the future. Maybe a first round in next year, 2021 or 2022. And you can throw some players in there to make it fit. But I think it makes sense because then Golden State gets their big. They get a pick later in the draft, and then the Spurs, get the 2 pick. They get Wiseman, and I think that's their big of the future. It's kind of getting Tim Duncan or Robinson again. You know what I mean? They get a big. I don't know if he's going to be as good as
right. The presence itself.
Yeah, I think, I think they're almost ready for a rebuild. I have the feeling they're ready to start getting some young drafted players and start building around those guys. So I think James Wiseman's a good player to start with. But if the Spurs don't trade up, I think Golden State will gladly take James Wiseman for the 2. Another interesting pick that's going to be like a possible trade is the 8 at the Knicks. Knicks pick 8.
Mm-hmm.
I could see them trading away. Gordon Hayward, in fact, was rumored to be at the 8 seed. The Knicks were interested in Gordon Hayward. So they have a couple bigs. Obi Toppin, who I have going 9 to DC. DC is also, I think those 2 picks are potential trade picks with the Celtics or any pick. I think the Knicks may want Gordon Hayward, and maybe they get a package around that, and the Celtics trade up and get the 8 and draft Obi Toppin, who's an athletic big, who's I think would fit in well with the Celtics, like a young big guy.
That would be a hell of a move if we sent Hayward to the Knicks just to die.
That would
be.
But what's the other option? It goes to the Pacers and is like, okay. I mean, I guess that team would be a playoff team. The he joins the Pelicans young core, like the teams that we talked about.
So what pick are the Celtics getting in your draft?
I didn't say. I just went based off of what the actual draft is, and I said some potential places. So I think that the Celtics couldn't be in play to trade up for 8, 9, and if we're getting really crazy, potentially 5 with the Cavs. If they offer a big deal with the Cavs, or even like I said, if James Wiseman falls for some reason, let's say. This is what makes the draft kind of interesting is like Anthony Edwards and Ball, I think, are like 2 of the best players in the draft. Wiseman's in there too. Like I like Wiseman probably the most. But Anthony Edwards is a scorer and is going to be a stud. LaMelo Ball has a lot of hype and is a stud. But if Wiseman starts to fall lower and lower, Danny's got to make a trade. He's got to pull the trigger. Like say he gets to let's say Wiseman, some reason, all right, falls to 4 or 5. He's got to make a call to try to get James Wiseman. Like I think it's got to happen because he's their guy. Like that's the starting center that you're looking for. You know what I mean? And he's young. He's going to be under your control for the next 4 or 5 years. And I think that's like the best move for the Celtics. But I like I said, I like Obi Toppin too. Like Obi Toppin's going to be right around that 9-10 range, 8-9-10 range, and I think that's an easy trade up for DC, the Knicks, Detroit's in there. Like I think that's a good spot for them.
So that's preferably what I want in the Celtics trade. Is I don't want to just sit there and take 3 guys. I want to move these picks around, and I want to get that solid guy. I want to get a singular, ready to play now guy that can contribute.
If they could trade a couple of those picks to move up to, especially if Wiseman falls. You're looking at anywhere from 5 to 10. If they could trade up to there, I'd be happy to take a player up in that ready to play stage. I think it's a smart move. Now, if you're trading for Turner, you don't really need that. You know what I mean? But depending on what you're giving,
that's what I would honestly prefer Turner because he's ready to play now.
100%.
That's if I had to rank it, I'd want Turner, a high profile guy, and very far down that list is take all the picks.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to – I don't foresee – and I mean, I say this every year. I don't foresee them drafting 4 players in this.
Yeah, every year we also say that they're going to trade for something crazy.
This year, Danny said if he drafts 4 players, he's going to be disappointed. Like, he doesn't want to draft. I think he's going to pull a trade. I think, if anything, maybe trade out of the draft. Like, if he can't move up, maybe he'll trade for picks next year. But I'm excited. This episode comes out the day of the draft, so hopefully we can. Hopefully we'll figure out. We'll have a more clear light of what the Celtics are going to do if they end up trading. Because trades start Wednesday, so maybe trades started today, so it will be a day. It will be the day that they can trade Gordon Hayward if he opts in. So maybe they'll trade Gordon Hayward. But I'm excited. I'm excited for the draft. I love the. I was hyped for the NFL draft, and now I'm kind of getting excited. I'm very excited for the NBA draft. So this is the moment that I know producer John has been waiting for. It's been something that we try to mix in a little bit for producer John because he's, as we all know, he's a WWE super fan. Where you go, John? You're up in the ceiling. So we're gonna call this the all-time WWE. What's it called?
Survivor Series.
Survivor Series. We're gonna do 5 rounds, and we're gonna draft our all-time WWE Survivor team. Danny Football did say they can be dead or alive, so it's
Right.
all time.
So just to preface this, the whole point of the Survivor Series event is that it's revolved around 2 teams of 5 fighting each other in an elimination match. So what we're going to do is snake draft dead or alive, so it's easy for Steve to be able to pick some people out here, because unfortunately a lot of wrestlers are dead. We're gonna
The ones I have.
We're each gonna have a team of 5, and then Steve wanted them to have a coach, but we changed that to manager, so they will have a manager on the outside cheering them on.
So we're gonna be using the random order generator over here.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it's topical because Survivor Series is this Sunday.
Wow!
Did you not know that was the reason we were doing it?
We planned it.
You had no idea.
We planned it. So we're gonna do this random order generator, number 1 to 100. Producer John, since this is your baby, this is your favorite topic, we're gonna let you pick the first number. No, do you want to pick first? It's up to you. I'll let you pick first if you want.
I'll pick first.
Okay.
1.
Pick him 1. All right. Danny Football?
50.
50. I'm gonna go right in the middle, 25.
Oh my God.
1.
All right, we're ready. 10.
Did I win?
I think that's yeah, that's John. That's John.
Producer John. So the 1 pick is gonna be producer John.
Sick.
Then me. Then I should have went 2. Dang it. And then Danny Football has the back-to-back pick at 3.
All right. I'm going to keep a Word doc just so I can keep track
I
of
got
myself.
one too.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Producer John, who are we going for number 1?
Undertaker.
Oof.
Bad pick.
Mm-hmm. Would you say bad pick?
Yeah.
I'm assuming he just came off of Big Red's board.
Yeah, he was right at the top of my list.
I guess this Sunday they're doing like Survivor Series is going to be his final goodbye.
Oh, is that why you picked him?
I mean, part of it. I would have picked him number 1 anyway, but it's just topical.
I'm gonna pick. I think I've mentioned this before. I think I'm gonna go The Rock. Big fan of The Rock.
Pick.
Good pick.
I gotta write down the names that are being picked.
That's what I'm doing.
Danny Football, you had 2.
I'm gonna go back to back. I'm gonna go Stone Cold Steve Austin.
That's a good one. That makes sense. These are like the 3 that should have went.
Well, that's what, and that was my hope with Big Red, is that even though he's not a big wrestling fan, he'll be able to at least get a couple names down.
Oh, I have a bunch of names down.
Yeah, there we go. So we got Stone Cold, and then
I have 16 names. So hopefully,
I'm gonna pair him with a good. I'm gonna go Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
See, I'm not going as old school as.
Yeah, I'm not going old school either. I'm going to go with the man we all love. I mean, I love him. John Cena.
Oof.
Okay.
The local guy.
Yeah. Newsbury, Massachusetts.
West
right?
Newsbury, Massachusetts.
West Newbury?
West Newbury?
I think it's Newbury.
All right, John, you got back-to-back picks.
Don't take. I have 2 guys all ready to go. Even though I can't pick back to back.
Rey Mysterio.
Nice.
Yeah, I had him written down just because John always mentions him.
Still kicking.
Yup, he's still kicking.
He's been wrestling for so long. He's now teaming with his own son.
Is he the 619 guy?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was gonna pick him just because he told me he killed someone.
I think that's an early throwback.
Yeah. We call that in the business a callback.
Callback. I think that's what I meant. Only because I picked Ray at 2. There's someone else I think I'd pick at 3, but for the sake of it, I'm gonna change it and go Eddie Guerrero.
Oh, I
was gonna pick him because I knew that was your favorite guy, John. I was totally
Ray's my favorite guy.
Ray's your favorite guy?
Ray's my number 1.
Eddie Guerrero, that's a good pick.
It's a good pick.
All right, Steve.
I really hope my another guy falls.
I'm going with this guy. I like this guy just because he makes loud noises. I'm going Ric Flair.
Ooh,
good pick.
Damn.
I feel like I'm gonna get washed by Steve. I'm gonna get washed by Steve.
Yeah,
we'll do a vote or whatever.
Yeah, we're doing a vote on Twitter. So go vote on Twitter when you hear this.
All right, I got back-to-back picks again.
I can't believe my team is this good. You guys stink at this.
What are you talking about,
I have a really good team. I have The Rock, John Cena, and Ric Flair.
Yeah, and I have Stone Cold and Macho Man Randy Savage.
I think my team is winning.
John has Undertaker, Rey Mysterio, and Eddie Guerrero.
I love the Undertaker.
I like Steve. Steve is my favorite team so far.
I have another guy in sight, so I need you to pick 2. If you pick this guy, I think I'm going to be in trouble because I don't know too many people after this.
Stone Cold, Randy Savage. I'm going to go. I don't want to start pandering to people. That's my problem. I want to have.
Pick your guy.
I want to have my 5 guys.
Pick your 5.
I'm going to go Samoa Joe.
Oh, okay. You said who?
Who? I'm going to go Samoa Joe. He's my guy.
Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe. And
what? Well, I think we just knocked out Danny Football as a vote.
And let's go China.
China?
I'm sorry. Hey, we got to pick wrestlers, not countries. The countries one is coming up. We'll do the all-time country track. Yeah,
China's an off-the-wall pick. That's crazy.
I don't know how this guy is available at 4 because I have no idea. If I heard about these guys, it has to be
I'm nervous.
I'm going with Thunderlips himself, Hulk Hogan. How is Hulk Hogan available in the 4th round?
I felt like that's a pander pick. I wasn't going to go for him.
Super pander pick. That's a pander pick. Steve's gonna win it because.
Well, that's kind of what I figured. Once he had the Rock, Cena, and Flair, I'm like, all right, this is already over.
Hulk Hogan's great. I loved him in the Rocky 2. No, Rocky 3. He was in Rocky 3. I loved him in Rocky 3. I thought he was awesome.
Hulk Hogan's the pick that all non-wrestling fans pick.
Well, guess what?
Wrestling fans pick Hulk Hogan.
I bet we're gonna have a bunch of non-wrestling fans pick my team because Hulk Hogan is gonna be a stud. I have one more guy. Yeah.
Oh, you have one more guy.
No, but you have to go twice.
Oh,
you have your 4 and 5 picks.
Shawn Michaels.
I had him written down.
And
that would have been nice to have Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair put together, huh? Wrestling reference. Wrestling reference.
How do you know that reference?
I've seen that clip a bunch of times.
Oh, I think I showed you.
Sorry, I love you. No, I've seen it. I just like Ric Flair.
Right. Man, so this is my 5th.
This is your last pick. No, because we have what you call a manager.
The manager is not going to be a wrestler for me. Well, I already have it figured out, but
look at him getting all serious for this part of the all-time. This guy was the guy. Just to remind you, he picked he picked Drew Bledsoe as his coach for football. He picked Dennis Oil Can Boyd as his catcher. And now he wants to get all serious for the
Well, this is the one that matters. I don't even want to talk it out with you guys. I'll talk it out with you guys. Do we do that? Do people do that in drafts? Like talk it out with the competitors?
Not typically, but
all right, I won't.
You can give your reasoning, give a setup, give a build.
All right, snap decision.
I mean, that's no build
Batista.
Up.
I was thinking about him.
I had him written down. I loved him in Guardians of the Galaxy. I just saw another movie he was in too.
Is it back to Steve?
The comedy, right?
It's the one that he was like, what?
The Uber driver one?
No, I didn't see that one. I saw he was a spy. My Spy.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was funny. I have 2. I'm between 2 right now, which is surprising because I don't know many people in the wrestling world. You know what? We're a modern podcast here. We love all walks of people. I'm going with a lady for my fifth one. I'm going Paige.
I already had a lady, dude.
It's a good.
Oh, you had a lady?
China's a chick.
No, I thought it was a country. Sorry, I'm going Paige. I don't know her last name, but
dude, if you have Paige, China is gonna truck Paige.
Did you see the movie?
We should have made it a rule that like
a fifth. There had to be one female.
Just for the sake of it, my girl probably would have been Becky.
Steve, do yourself a favor. Google a picture of China. Chyna. She's beating. She can beat.
Oh, she's big,
dude. She
can beat me up.
She's beaten like. I think she beat Eddie Guerrero in a match at one point.
Didn't she fight Triple H?
Yeah, she's fought a lot of dudes. She's a fucking tank.
Well, I'm picking.
I feel bad I didn't pick a woman wrestler.
Yeah. Wow. John.
I'm progressive as hell. I had her at 4.
Yeah.
You're pretty progressive. I'm going Paige. I don't know her last. What's her last name?
She just goes by Paige.
Just Paige.
She's also.
What was that movie that she was in? Not her, but her story.
What's that called? Something.
Wrestling with My Family, I think.
Yes. Fighting with my family.
Fighting with my family.
Yes.
I like that movie.
All right, my last pick. Stone Cold was easy. Randy was good. Samoa Joe is just my guy right now. China, I want to.
That should have been your fifth pick. I'm going to tell you right now. No one was picking Samoa Joe.
Dude, I'm not pandering to these people. I'm going to pick my people. You hear that, listeners? I don't care if you don't vote for mine.
I'm not even trying to pander. I'm just picking guys that I know, people that I know. Well,
that was the whole device about this, was being able to make sure you can get some people. I'm going to go Jeff Hardy. He's my guy, too.
He was on my list.
I'm going to go Jeff Hardy.
You know who? So my 5 was between Batista and Brock.
I had Brock Lesnar on here, too.
All right. Should I go first for manager, then?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Is this like owner? Like what we typically do the owner? Not. I understand it's not the similar rule, but I'm saying like, is this like we pick anyone or I'm trying to?
Yeah, if you want to.
Sure.
Should we pick a ref?
No.
Celebrity ref?
Special guest referee.
Yeah, I know they do that. Right? No. Never mind.
Yeah, they do. So my manager is going to be Shane McMahon.
It's a good pick.
Shane McMahon.
Shane O'Mac.
Here comes the money.
Oh dear. I didn't know this was like a legit thing. WWE managers.
No.
I mean, the manager can realistically be anyone, but there are like sometimes assigned non-wrestlers.
Because I had one that I thought was a good one, but now that you said McMahon, I'm like,
Who was it?
I'm gonna just. I think I'm just gonna end up going with it because I don't really have anything to say. Well, yeah, I'm just gonna go. My manager is number 87 in the field. Number 1 as a manager. I'm going Gronkowski. Rob Gronkowski. He's on one
former 24/7 champion.
He was on one wrestling thing and he won. So I think that's good karma.
My manager is adolescent Dominic Mysterio.
Oh my God.
You know who I was between?
Custody on a ladder match?
Yeah, exactly.
Dominic, nice.
That genre of Dominic.
I was gonna pick Andre the Giant. I liked Andre. I liked him.
I kind of wish I had picked him. Damn.
Honorable mentions.
5.
Yeah, it's hard to choose 5. Let's choose 6. I choose Andre the Giant as my 6th.
I'll choose Becky Lynch as my 6th.
Are we choosing a 6th? Is that a thing?
I don't know.
Is everything locked in now? We're all good?
Yeah, I love my team.
I'll give you a final rundown. All right, so Big Red's team is The Rock, John Cena, Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, and Paige, managed by Gronk. My team is Stone Cold Steve Austin, Macho Man Randy Savage, Samoa Joe, the 8th Wonder of the World China, Jeff Hardy, managed by Shane McMahon, and producer John has The Undertaker, Rey Mysterio, the late great Eddie Guerrero, Shawn Michaels, and Batista, managed by 8-year-old Dominic.
I like my team. Now I hear it out loud. I'm confident.
That's a solid team, honestly.
I like your team too, John.
John has a good mix of like current names and older names.
What are you talking about? I have Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, John Cena.
Well, I'm talking like old, not old names.
Flair first.
They're old.
Yeah, you have the classics. You have some classics on there. Ric Flair and Hogan are classics. I can pay off the refs a lot easier than you guys can.
What kind of sport is this? Gronk just made a ton of money in his career. Hulk Hogan, I know he's got some of that Rocky III money lying around.
Hulk, I don't know if Hulk's in as good as a place as you think he is.
Yeah, definitely not.
John Cena. John Cena is going to be in another new movie of Daddy's Home 3.
Yeah, he's doing bounty commercials.
The Rock. Enough said. Paige, I don't know what she's up to, but she made a nice successful movie.
She does Twitch things now.
Mm.
Oh, nice. So we're gonna put
I've never heard of. Oh, I don't care.
We're gonna put our teams on Twitter, so make sure you go vote. I am on a roll of poll teams, just to remind you. So put them up. Let us know what you think. And I like doing this. We should do this more often. I miss the all time series. That was a fun little segment that we used to do.
Yeah, when you did the TV show draft, I got jealous.
Yeah, I missed it. It brought back old memories. We'll have to think of something else.
TV shows.
I was thinking about movies. I was like, I wish we did movies. I was a big movie guy. All right.
This feels long. We need to get going.
Yeah, let's get going. So we're going to bring it into the last segment of the show. We're going with the people's topic.
It's the people's topic, baby! People's topic.
So reminder, people's topic, you can write in any time in the week to our Instagram and Twitter at Big Red Zone. You can leave us a topic, question, whatever you want. We'll talk about it on the show. Reminder, you can also comment on our YouTube page, Big Red Zone. Click the like button and subscribe to the channel. Without further ado, producer John, take it away.
Big people's topic this week.
I
had to write them all down. First one from at Anthony Ambrose 51. How good is Kyler Murray?
MVP.
Yeah, I'll let Danny Football take
He's an MVP.
We talked about it already. I think
he's best player in the league right now.
Second question from Anthony Ambrose 51. Is the win over the Ravens a sign that things are starting to turn around?
Big Red.
I think we talked about that. I think it is. I think it shows that they can beat anyone. They played clean football, and they continue to do that. They'll be okay going forward.
At P. Willis 17.
Oh, God.
Paige.
What are your Celtics draft predictions?
Oh, geez.
They're going to trade up and they're going to trade up to get either Wiseman or Toppin.
Big Red just read off all of his homework for this page, so I really hope he answered your question after all that.
Paige, you know what? I hope you listen to the beginning. If not, go back about.
This is going to be good homework for her. I want to ask her, like, hey, what did you think of what did you think of Big Red's response to your question? She'd be like, oh, it was good. And I was like, well, what did he say?
Yeah.
So I'm going to make sure she listens to the whole thing.
Paige, we're testing you.
From LA's own at Hot Take Chase on Instagram, he asks, are the Dolphins or Bills more likely to get a Super Bowl first?
Ooh.
Of the two?
Yeah. Who's more likely to win a Super Bowl first? Or get to a Super Bowl first, not necessarily win.
That's a good question because they would probably have to go through each other to get there in the division. I'll take the Dolphins. Ooh, wow.
That was a good one. Dolphins. I think that the reason I didn't go Dolphins and I went Bills is I think that the Bills have more experience in that in that place of playoffs and stuff. And I think it's going to take Tua a little bit to adjust to the NFL with that. I mean, he's had a great run so far. Don't get me wrong, but I think I like the Bills team a little bit better than the Dolphins.
I think my thought process is that the Dolphins. I think you're right. The Bills window is definitely closer than the Dolphins is right now, but I don't know if the Bills are good enough to get there, but I think the Dolphins have enough future picks and ability to get better with Tua and what he has around him to eventually surpass the Bills in their window and then themselves get to the Super Bowl. So I think the Bills are better now, but they're not good enough, whereas the Dolphins' ceiling is still higher.
Yeah, I honestly don't think either of those teams are going to make it to the Super Bowl anytime soon.
No.
I think as long as Patrick
unless they get like a
Mahomes-
huge trade to get Tua weapons.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Moving on.
Second question from @HotTakeChase. If Cam walks, should the Patriots go after Dak?
Yeah,
This has been your guy, dude. You've been kind of calling for this.
Absolutely. I think Dak is a very thanks, Hot Take Chase. I think that's a great call. I think it fits the Patriots mold pretty well. I was calling for it before he even got hurt. And I think it makes sense. I think it's a young quarterback. I think he's going to get, not as much money as, he should probably get coming off that bad injury. So it has Patriot written all over him. So I think he is a potential. I don't think Cam's coming back regardless. So I think he's the perfect potential starting quarterback for the Patriots next year or going forward.
Second to last question from @TheAndyman11. Thoughts on the AFC playoff picture? Big Colts fan, interested to see how you think they match up.
Colts.
The Colts may be legit. They just beat. They had a big
Tennessee.
win on Tennessee on Thursday night, and they have the same record as Tennessee. They have a really good defense. Like their defense is, I think, a little underrated for what it is. And their offense, I mean, it isn't great, but Phillip Rivers is a veteran. He is gonna help, he does make a lot of mistakes, but he's been there before. They got a nice combination of young guys and veteran guys. I don't think they have the horses to make a deep push, but I think they're going to make a little bit of a run going. And I think they're a playoff team. Absolutely.
I was really down on Rivers going into this year, but he's proved me wrong. I don't know if I'd call them contenders, but they're definitely in the mix. They would definitely need a couple of things to break their way to keep going deep into the playoffs.
I don't think they're contenders. I think they're a playoff team. I think if that makes sense. I think they're like a first round exit, second round exit.
Which is good for them.
Yeah.
K_Palladino. Go back and fact check the last time a team made the playoffs with 10 plus losses in the NFC East.
Is this another question?
That's all it says.
I actually was looking this up earlier, coincidentally. And I don't think there's been a team with 10 losses. But
Go back.
the last time we had a losing record was in 2010. No. The last couple of times we had a losing record was in 2010. The Seahawks went 7-9 in the regular season, and they still won the NFC West. They hosted a playoff game against New Orleans, and
that was the Quake game, right?
With
Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah, I think that was that game. And in 2015, the Carolina Panthers won the NFC South, hosted their own playoff game, and they went 7-8-1.
So right now, the Eagles are 3-5-1. Do we think they win the division with 10 losses?
So wait, let me look at that. What's their thing again?
Eagles are 3-5-1.
3-5-1. I gotta see what's their remaining games, because it depends on what their remaining games are.
I unfortunately could not tell you that.
But this is definitely one that I wish we had time to prepare. The Browns, I think they could lose to the Browns. Seahawks is a loss. Green Bay's a loss. Saints
Cardinals. Oh my God.
I don't even think they're making the playoffs.
They have to. The winner has to make it.
What?
The winner of the division has to make it.
Right, but I think another team has a chance.
The Cowboys, everyone else is already down to 7 losses. Giants have 7, Washington has 7, and Cowboys have 7.
How do they have 2 extra games?
They have a tie.
Oh, they have a tie. Oh, they could sneak in with the tie. I don't know.
That'd be wild. Oh, my God.
Wait, hey. Washington could sneak in. They play the Bengals, the Cowboys. Steelers is a loss, but they play the 49ers, depending on Jimmy G's status. Seahawks is a loss. They play the Panthers, and they play the Eagles. That's a potential sneak-in team.
So they'd be finishing at 7-9.
Yeah.
I think a 10-loss team is going to make it.
This could be the first year that we have a 10-loss team. So we could see history in the making.
And people say the AFC East is bad.
That division is awful. I think I could put a high school team in that division and have a chance.
The Vipers could have won that division.
Vipers. Bang gang.
There it is.
All right. Is that the last one?
Yeah.
So thank you to everyone that wrote in for the People's Topic. Reminder, you can write in anytime. Like I said, write it in any time of the week. We do it every week, and you can find us on Instagram at Big Red Zone or Twitter at Big Red Zone. Follow us on, subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit the like button on this video, as well as all our videos. Leave us a review on Apple Podcast, and tell a friend of the pod. That's all we have time for today. I want to thank Danny Football and producer John for joining. Have a great week, everyone.